Janine Curran is the manager of Volunteerism at AmeriHealth Caritas. Just what does your company do, Janine?
AmeriHealth Caritas is a managed care organization. It's based in Pennsylvania. We are experts in treating America's chronically ill and low-income populations. Our Medicaid managed care health plans provide innovative and cost-effective care to people who need it most. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just how important a service is Medicaid here in Pennsylvania? Just try to give us an idea.
We currently have 4 million members that are on our plans. We are in 13 states and DC. So very, very important. Managed care brings it all together and tries to make it the most cost effective.
So why is AmeriHealth involved in volunteerism for its employees?
Sure. So corporate social responsibility is very important in all aspects of business now. They like to say millennials like to work for places that I get teased a lot because I am a millennial, but they like to work for places that are socially responsible. They say that they would rather go for less money as long as the place does better things. So it's not just millennials. Everyone wants to work for someone that's doing good things. And that is our job at AmeriHealth in the Community Investment Department.
So how do you go about securing volunteers there at the company? How do you approach them? How do you get them involved?
It's mostly, so we're a mission-driven company anyway. We used to be, the slogan was Got Mission. It has changed now, and we are all about care is in the heart of our work. So what we do is we reach out to, we have a lot of people approach us, but we'll reach out by email. We will reach out to people that we know, let them know that we have these opportunities that are available, and we use a volunteer platform where people can go and check out what's available. It's called Your Cause. It's for internal use.
And what do your volunteers do to help the community?
Oh boy, so
try to come up with just a couple examples. I know you have a wide range of things.
We do. So we focus on social determinants of health, one of which is food insecurities. We focus on education. We focus on financial stability, and housing is another one. So we do lots of food pantries. We do work with Habitat for Humanity. For education, we have many mentor programs, and trying to think of so for financial, we have utilized VITA. It's a group that's presented by the United Way that helps with tax preparation and way.
And how often are your volunteers having events? Just how busy are they?
Well, I can tell you we launched Care Crew, which is the volunteer program, in 2017. And since then, there have been over 2,000 volunteer efforts.
Mm-hmm. Now, your job is in facilitating these volunteer programs, Janine. So just tell us, I understand there's a press release about your company that calls you the lead ambassador for the United Way campaign. Why not just take a minute and tell us about what United Way is about?
The United Way campaign is a 2-week campaign where we solicit donations from our employees. And what that does is all donations either go into their impact fund, or you can pick a specific charity that you would like to go to. Let's say you go to Broad Street Ministry a lot and you want to give to them, you can click that. So we do a 2-week campaign and we collect as much money as possible. And United Way disseminates that out through their communities.
Mm-hmm. Now, I understand you put together a national database for company employees who want to volunteer. How did you put that together?
That is Your Cause, which I referenced a couple minutes ago. So it starts out slow and very grassroots, and let's use the Broad Street Ministry example again. We partner with Broad Street Ministries through our plan here in Philadelphia, which is Keystone First. So we thought it would be smart to see how much volunteerism we could do with them as well to strengthen the relationship. So we put, they have something called Breaking Bread, and we put that effort into the Your Cause, the volunteer platform, and our associates can go in and they can click the button and say, yes, I would like to go out to Broad Street Ministry. And then we have one of our team leads go out and meet them with a Care Crew shirt, and they go out and they feed the homeless. It's lunch for the homeless.
So Janine, the COVID-19 crisis is having an effect on everybody, of course. So tell us about the impact it's having on your trying to maintain a steady stream of volunteers.
COVID-19 was definitely difficult for those of us who like to get out there. Many of my colleagues, my counterparts, all of us just wanted to just jump right in. And we could not do that. We learned that we needed to stay home for the safety of our members, for the safety of the community, and for ourselves. So we tried to re-strategize, and of course we did not do nothing. We learned all about virtual volunteering, which we did not really do too much of before. But our Care Crew members are out there doing volunteerism with American Red Cross virtually, with United Way virtually. We learned about being able to volunteer as a transcriber for the Smithsonian, which you don't really get to learn about here in Philadelphia. But so many people were so excited about it, so I was glad to be able to present that. We've also done a card making campaign, which is not something that we do frequently, but it really took off during this time. We were able to, Care Crew members were able to prepare or create and disseminate over 7,000 cards to our community partners and to frontline workers or essential workers.
Janine, a minute ago, you said you had to change your strategy. So how do you continue to motivate volunteers as they have to deal with their own personal challenges during this crisis?
I think we're very lucky, and we are definitely mission driven. I've had hundreds of our members reach out to me, of our Care Crew members reach out to me and say, what can I do? And it's really the reeling them in, saying that I'm not allowed to send you out physically, but here are your options. So many people reaching out. And
so Janine, your job must have changed considerably in the last 6 weeks or so. So you have to come up with a way to bind together all these volunteers. They just can't meet in person like they used to.
Right. So we used to have a Care Crew committee call once a month, and we've been having them more weekly to determine better ways. We've been trying to get together a Care Crew song that we could put out to show our partners that, we care about them. It's definitely changed significantly. There's nothing that is the same as it was 2 months ago.
Well, how about any upcoming volunteer events you have that directly relate and address this coronavirus situation?
So mostly it's the card making. We've actually had mask making activities. So people came to me saying, hey, I've been making masks, and we've been kind of doing a grassroots effort to collect the amount of masks that have been made, where they've been going, because our employees are doing it anyway. So that was one of the most exciting things, because they send you pictures and the masks are colorful. They're going and doing great things for people. It's necessary. So it's really nice to see people taking it upon themselves and giving me the ideas.
So during this crisis, Janine, are you noticing more input from volunteers or less? And do you have to sometimes reach in and stir up the pot to get them involved?
Well, the people that volunteer all the time are the ones that are reaching out saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we want you to tell people that we're doing. It is definitely, volunteerism has slowed down significantly just because we can't go out. And not everybody wants to make cards or masks. I don't know how to sew, so I haven't made any masks. So it's definitely slowed down in that fashion, but people definitely bring us ideas, and we do have to stir it up a
So
little.
it sounds like it's often a case of groups have something in mind that they're going to do, and then they simply tell you about it. Then you can help spread the word.
Absolutely, yes.
So what else is on the agenda in the coming weeks? Can you say at this point, or do you take it one day at a time?
Oh, we are taking it one day at a time. Right now, we're set to go back on May 18th, but we still don't know what that means for volunteerism. We don't know if we're going to be able to go out and physically volunteer. So I think we're going to have to revamp our strategy when we go back, and I think it's a daily thing.
And tell me more about the company, Janine. Is it a statewide thing? Are your employees, your associates all over the state?
We are all throughout Pennsylvania, and we are in 13 other states, and as well, I'm sorry, in DC as well.
So the last question for you, Janine. So far, what's the most rewarding thing that you've learned about your employees being involved in?
Definitely the mask making. They're just doing it on their own. They have delivered them on their own. They have given hundreds and hundreds of masks to hospitals, to small businesses that are still operating. I really like to see their stories. I've gotten a few stories that are not about masks, like they're going to homeless shelters on their own, since I'm not allowed to send them out as part of care crew. And they're going and they're delivering food or whatever it is that they have to deliver to the different homeless shelters and places like that.
Go ahead, Janine. I'll let you have the last word. One more thing. Go ahead.
I just said it is amazing.
All right, Janine Curran, Manager of Volunteerism at AmeriHealth Caritas. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it.
During the uncertain times brought on by the coronavirus outbreak, PCN remains committed to the needs of Pennsylvania and its people. PCN provides free daily coronavirus updates from Governor Wolf and the Department of Health Secretary Dr. Levine, live, on air, and streaming on the app and online. These updates will be available to watch in their entirety on demand for free by downloading the PCN app or at pcntv.com. PCN, committed to keeping Pennsylvania informed.
Carolyn Tenaglia is the Regional Ombudsman Specialist at the Pennsylvania Department of Aging. Carolyn, just what does an ombudsman do?
The word ombudsman means citizen advocate. So an ombudsman in the long-term care setting is someone who advocates for the consumers, not affiliated with the providers, not affiliated with any other entity, but strictly being the voice of the consumer.
Now, in this case, you're often advocating for people who can't speak up for themselves sometimes.
Right. It's a combination, Larry, to be honest. There are residents who are very capable of speaking up for themselves, but oftentimes people disregard the message, or they don't feel compelled to hear the message or act on the message. And then there are other consumers who struggle to express themselves or to let others know how they would like things to happen, how they would like their care to progress. And so we have ways to work with those individuals as well.
So tell us about the effects of the virus on this vulnerable population that resides in Pennsylvania's nursing homes.
The results of the virus have been very devastating, to be totally honest. The residents are struggling with their daily routine, with exercising their rights, with staying in contact with their families. A lot of their daily routine has been upended necessarily, in order to protect them from the spread of the virus, in order to rearrange care at the facility in a way that will isolate those with the virus or those who are at extremely high risk for containing the virus, for catching the virus. They've had to make changes in the way their care is done, in the way the staff treat them, in the way their routine is. It's something as simple as receiving the daily newspaper all the way up to not being able to visit with their families and friends. So there has been a tremendous impact on their daily lives, on their routine. It's been very, very difficult for the residents.
Under the governor's orders, are visitors allowed to come to nursing homes at all?
No, no. And it's really not necessarily the governor's orders. Nursing homes are licensed by the Pennsylvania Department of Health, and the Department of Health must answer to a federal entity, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, or we call it CMS. And CMS has issued guidance regarding the care of people in nursing homes and restrictions on visitors, suspension of rights, how to approach care. And the Department of Health, Pennsylvania state government, is compelled to follow that guidance. And one of the things that comes down from CMS is a restriction on visitors. It's an extreme restriction. There is an exception for end of life, but that's it.
So Carolyn, give us a feeling for an average day at the nursing home during this very much not average situation. If we were allowed to visit a nursing home today, what would we observe right away that wasn't there, say, 2 months ago?
Oh, isolation. Residents living in facilities no longer have access to their entire home like you and I do. We may be stuck at home, but you can go from room to room or interact with other members of your family. Residents are now confined to their rooms. They cannot leave their room and congregate in dining rooms or activity areas. They have, in some cases, their doors are shut, and their ability to even get in and out of their room for something as simple as a shower is very, very different from what they used to know.
And that sounds difficult and stressful for the resident the more you talk about it.
Oh, it is very stressful for them. We have a network of consumers actually in Pennsylvania that we have trained to be self-advocates, and we do regular conference calls with them. And I had a conference call with our residents just 2 weeks ago, and they were describing their experiences, and it's very difficult for them. But the thing that I noticed when I was talking to them was that they are very resilient, and they are very concerned about the staff, and they want to be able to support the staff during this difficult time and cooperate in any way that they need to. So I didn't hear any panic. I didn't hear any anger. I heard a little sadness and a little frustration and missing their families. But all in all, they were determined to make it work as best they could.
So how are families able to contact their loved ones in resident homes when technology allows? Are they having Zoom meetings like the one we're having right now?
Well, some are and some aren't. The families are struggling because they are very used to one-on-one contact and going in and visiting and seeing their family member, touching their family member, giving them a hug. They love their family members. They know that they're elder, they're compromised, they're worried, they're hearing all of these things on the news, they can't go in. So some families are having more success than others. Some facilities are being very good about arranging for alternate visitation through Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, things like that. Other facilities, not so much. And there's no requirement by the government at this particular time to mandate that. There's no consistency to it. So oftentimes families are trying to negotiate that individually with providers. And there's an example of where Ombudsman could come in. Even things like getting packages delivered, laundry taken care of, those policies vary from facility to facility based on infection control protocol. And it can be very, very confusing and difficult for families.
And obviously it's stressful for families to be cut off from their loved one in nursing homes. And of course they want to know what the situation is exactly. And they have all kinds of questions. And I understand that your department is arranging something on the internet. There are meetings on the internet. You're calling them virtual family councils. Tell us about that idea.
Well, family councils have been around for a long time, but they usually were contained in a specific facility. So each facility might have a family council. Some did, some didn't. But because that's really not possible right now, and we have so many people who are calling our program looking for help, advice, information, guidance, we decided to open it up, and we're beginning a virtual family council, meaning we're going to host Zoom meetings. We're providing the link to any family member who's interested. And it's open-ended. We're going to do it twice a month. Once they have the link, they can hop on. They don't have to be involved in all the meetings. They can be involved in every meeting, some of the meetings, none of the meetings. It's totally up to them. We're going to link them with information and resources. We're going to field their concerns and try to connect them with the ombudsman who serves their county.
And you're going to have your inaugural meeting very soon, right?
May 5th. We're doing May 5th at 4:30. And then we'll be doing it again on May 19th at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to schedule them for twice monthly until we no longer need this.
For the benefit of someone who's never attended a virtual family council before, just what is the format of this meeting? How is it organized? How are you going to run it?
I'll tell you, we've never attended one either. we're trying this, and I'm sure it's going to tweak as it goes. But right now, the plan is to provide a segment on some education, and when I say education, I basically mean we want to update the families on what's happened with the regulations and resident rights. We want to explain why rooms are being changed and people are being moved and things are changing. And then we want to open that up then for conversation, discussion, questions. So that educational segment, I'm calling it, is going to be brief, just a few minutes, because we really want to focus on the networking and the dialogue, because these families are struggling in isolation and they're not aware of each other. And we're hoping that we can connect them. They can learn from each other. So that dialogue is really our priority. We want to make the most of it.
So who's going to give that informational segment at the beginning, Carolyn? And I'm guessing it's going to be based on whatever you're anticipating what the big concerns are that day.
The first meeting is going to be our state ombudsman, Margaret Barajas. She's my boss. And she's very good at her job, very, very good at her job. We want to make sure that the families get the opportunity to meet Margaret and know how to get in touch with her. And then there are 5 other regional ombudsman specialists. I take care of the Northeast, but there are 5 other regions in the Commonwealth. So there's a specialist assigned to each of those. We're going to work on this together. We're going to be looking at the common concerns that are brought to our attention in our specific regions. And we are hoping to use some polling features of Zoom to capture exactly what topics the families need most. So that we're going to roll out tomorrow. And, we're all working from home without technical assistance. So we're winging it. We're hoping we had a dry run today. It's looking promising. So we're hoping that this can be directed by the families that attend through the polling.
Now, Carolyn, when you open the floor to questions during these meetings, just how spontaneous are the questions going to be? In other words, are they going to be screened in advance?
No. We're not screening any of the concerns or questions that the family members have. This is their forum. We truly understand how upset they must be, or anxious, or worried, or angry. I mean, it's their forum, and they're free to express themselves. And we obviously, because of the size of the group and the fact that it's over the internet, we can't guarantee any confidentiality. So we don't want to get into specific situations. But there is an ombudsman located in every county of this Commonwealth. So if there is someone with a specific concern about their mom or their dad or a specific facility, we can connect them with the ombudsman in their county who can work with them confidentially on their specific concern.
Can you give us a quick preview of your inaugural meeting on May the 5th? What do you have planned so far?
Well, we're going to, like I said, Margaret is going to open things up, explain our program a little bit, because a lot of the people now that are struggling have never had the need for an ombudsman before. So a lot of the families are looking for ombudsmen that never anticipated that they would have to, and they may not understand how we work.
Right.
We want to focus on the fact that we are established within the Department of Aging, but federal regulations that guide our program means that we need to be objective. We're independent. So if they have a concern about an entity in state government, if they have a concern about a provider, if they have a concern about Medicaid, those are all things that we can work on with them. We are not answering to any other entity but the residents and their families. So a little background on us, our program, how to find us. And then we just really want to let them know that we are working with the residents, we're available, we have a sense of what they're experiencing right now, and we want to see exactly what they want us to do with this in the future. Where can we take it? What information can we get them? What would be most valuable to them?
Yeah, Carolyn, you talked about getting feedback from the families who attend this virtual council meeting online. And I wonder if you're able to keep track of who's attending the meeting, how long they're hanging on, how soon they might drop out. And that might be some indication to you as to what's important, beside specific polling information, if you're even able to do that.
Well, the way you get the information for the meeting is through a link that we provide. So we at least have some sense of the number of people who have requested the link. We really wanted to try to prevent just putting the link out there for the general public, because we wanted to make sure we weren't getting the meeting filled with providers or other entities.
Right. Oh, you have to sign up for these meetings, don't you, Carolyn?
What you do is you email our office and then we send you the link. So far, the interest has been pretty robust, but it gives us the opportunity to make sure that we're connecting legitimately with families. So I'm not 100% sure at how we can tell the length of time a person stays engaged in the call. We certainly will get a number of attendees, and we have a co-host function so that we can monitor people with questions and whether people are getting on or off. We'll see how good we are at this time.
Right. Well, we're all winging it to some degree, right, Carolyn?
Fingers crossed. This is brand new for us, and we're learning as we're going a little bit. But once they have that email address that they use to request the link, they can reach out to us and connect with us at any time. We also have a Facebook page that's dedicated to this project. So the families, we're going to house resources there, and they can also engage with us by messaging that page and letting us know if we're hitting the mark or we're missing the mark, if there's something that, they need more than, what we've been offering.
So Carolyn, last question. If I go to the Department of Aging website, will I find out more information about your meetings?
No, no, you won't.
Okay, tell our viewers exactly how to do that. Very important.
You can find information about the Ombudsman program, but unfortunately, we don't have access to programming content on the department's webpage. So what you can do is go to Facebook.
Okay, good.
We have the page that is listed as Virtual Family Council.
Okay.
And I'm pulling it up on my phone.
I don't blame you for checking it. Virtual Family Council
we do
on Facebook.
Yes. And I believe, let me just make sure I am giving you, it is Pennsylvania, PA Long-Term Care Virtual Family Council. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good though. Say it one more time.
PA Long-Term Care Virtual Family Council. And you can like and follow the page. You will see posts with different resources and links, and that will walk you through getting the link to the meeting, connecting with us, submitting questions, finding a local ombudsman, anything they need, anything we can do for them.
Okay, we're out of time. Carolyn Tanaglia, the Regional Ombudsman Specialist at the Pennsylvania Department of Aging. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Larry. This was nice. Thank you.